Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 588. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
Brian Manjoma,
What up, what up?
and back from Los Angeles, Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
All right. Rich, man, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a very interesting trip. Yeah, great times.
All right, yeah. You're definitely going to regale us with some stories later on, but yeah, definitely good to have you back, and glad you survived Los Angeles. Oh, man.
Oh, yes.
All right, man. So, man, Xbox, bro, for a couple of days, things were going well, right? You know, we had the Xbox Showcase, which is generally well received. You know, days after that, a little bit of a honeymoon period. People were like, oh, yeah, looks like Asha's doing it. Then Homegirl lays down the hammer. I think she was, being interviewed by Bloomberg. There was also an Xbox post. The business is not doing so well. Console sales are down, and rumors are actually, I don't think it's a rumor anymore. There will be, firings, or as they say, layoffs. Not good, not good. So I'm going to read some of this from, I believe this is IGN. Yes, it is. Xbox reportedly planning significant layoffs, budget cuts for marketing, and more. And they're calling it the big reset. That's her word for it, the reset. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma has outlined plans to, quote unquote, reset the business amidst reports of significant layoffs and budget cuts, according to a report from Bloomberg, which is probably Jason Schreier. The story says Xbox will be undergoing layoffs in July alongside slashes to marketing budgets and other areas of the business. Bloomberg also reported that Sharma pulled a this one's interesting. Bloomberg also reported that Sharma pulled a trailer for a Halo campaign evolved from PlayStation's latest State of Play, potentially damaging relationships between Xbox and Sony. Some have speculated that this may have been the case, as a recent trailer for the game had a disclaimer noting the footage was captured on the PS5 Pro. Following Bloomberg's report, Xbox revealed Sharma's internal memo to the public, which shares some brutal and transparent thoughts about the future of Xbox. The memo noted that this level of transparency is important going forward, and here's the quote from Ms. Asha Sharma. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. The memo outlined 5 quote-unquote realities about the state of Xbox, covering a notable decline in revenue that cannot continue, says Sharma, a hardware component crisis, and a reassessment of Xbox's portfolio and infrastructure. So IGN put it all nicely into one paragraph here, because if you actually go to the post, there's actually 5 details that are laid down in a lot of detail here, but here's the short end of it. We expanded our studio system when we needed a pipeline of content to meet multiple strategies across subscription, streaming, and devices. That's the flood of Game Pass content. In the process, we found ourselves overextended as we executed on changing strategies in a landscape of more readily available content. We are the fortunate stewards of industry-defining franchises that have enormous potential and player demand, but we have not adequately funded them to compete and win. I agree. At the same time, we saw this past weekend at Showcase a reliable pipeline of first and third-party exclusives, and new IPs are critical to our success. We need to reassess the balance between these and our investment priorities for the next 5 years. Moving on, because there's a lot of shit to go through here. The Verge reported that sources have suggested Xbox's cuts could lead to a studio closure or changes to the Xbox studio lineup. Sharma's predecessor, Uncle Phil, had to shut down a number of Xbox-owned studios before end of his tenure. One of the most notable casualties was The Initiative, a new studio that was tasked with rebooting Perfect Dark, which didn't happen. Sharma also noted that Microsoft had to spend this is crazy. Sharma also noted that Microsoft had to spend twice as much as it did on console storage components since last fall, and that number is expected to grow 5 times as much as they planned for the next console, Project Helix. Her comments come just days after Xbox's chief strategy officer, Matthew Ball, who joined the company not even a month ago, noted that they were unable to keep up with the demand for new consoles due to the component crisis. He also stated that it was forcing a rethink on how to approach Helix. All this news comes after Xbox's big showcase, which reaffirmed a commitment to exclusivity on a case-by-case basis. This will begin with Gears of War E-Day, which was originally in development for PS5. I also heard that there was another, I think it was Fable. I think she also wanted that to be an exclusive, but they couldn't do it because of deals or whatever. Sharma, however, reportedly made the decision to scrap the PS5 version, according to Bloomberg. Xbox has only committed to 2 major exclusives at the moment, with Sharma noting that they will continue to evaluate exclusivity as the company becomes healthier. Interesting. By the way, I had a bunch of other notes about Xbox. This article literally got through all of them, so I'm glad I read that. Yeah, shit is crazy, to say the least. Chris, I know I asked you to look into this earlier. I don't know if you want to jump in here and share some thoughts, because there was one thing I didn't understand. There was something about a 3% something or other, some term I'm not familiar with. So I don't know if you want to clarify some of that stuff for the people.
Yeah, let me look at that real fast.
I'll look that up too, because I never saw this term before. Go ahead, bro.
Well, I just on like at a high level. Yeah. I mean, everybody was celebrating, and honestly, like, I'm surprised. I think she wanted to ingratiate herself before laying this hammer down. Like, I don't think she wanted to come in and start like cutting heads immediately. She didn't want to pull a Jim Ryan right out the gate. But it's had to happen because you can't have business as usual if you have the same people who have, and honestly, a lot of it was the leadership, right? Decisions by Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer, whatever, obviously led to negative outcomes. So, but you also, they were cutting in the wrong places, and we saw that when they like cut the studio that did Tango GameWorks or whatever. I kind of think these cuts are actually necessary. Your marketing, if you are still paying for marketing at this point and you have been losing all this money all this time, but yet the focus has been cutting studios who are making content for you and not your marketing department and stuff, like this to me is like a no-brainer. Like, that's the first thing that should be cut out. And so I'm like, good. Like, I honestly, I know I did digital marketing one for, fuck those guys. Like, that should be cut down. Your budgets need to be brought way down. You have been hemorrhaging money every quarter for I think years. As long as I've been put these financials, right? Like, I barely look at Xbox because it wasn't even worth it to look at them. It was just like all negative every single quarter. So I just didn't bother. And honestly, it was hard to read. The report was always buried in Microsoft's financials, so I just was like, whatever. But here's the thing. It sucks when people have to get cut, when people have to lose their jobs. But if it is like, we have to cut marketing, we have to re-strategize on the content and consoles, that's the right move to make. If you have to make any move, and you have to lower budgets, right? She's in there. Everybody from the top down is looking at her to revitalize Xbox. That is a tall order. I mean, after Phil Harrison, that was Phil Spencer's job. Mm-hmm. And they didn't do a very good job. But honestly, I think a lot of blame, and that only got exposed after this, is probably Sarah Bond's poor decisions. Everything. This is an Xbox. That's an Xbox. That was laid on her feet. So to undo that damage and get the brand restored, that's a tall order. And it's not through marketing spend. It's through content, right? You have to get the games. You have to get the exclusive titles. You have to get titles people want to play and buy into your system. And it sucks because she's also fighting, like everybody else, these inflated RAM prices. So, like Tony said, like the system RAM and all that stuff is doubled, and it's going to go up 5 times. The AI stuff hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
That kind of AI apocalypse we're going through with hardware hasn't stopped. Prices are just inflating. The Steam Deck is not $1,000, right? PS5 Pro is $800. Like the prices are just inflated. So if they're trying to produce a brand new system, I can't imagine what Helix is going to launch at. And Matthew Bell is trying to figure out how to keep the system costs down. I don't even know. Like, good luck with that. That seems like trying to solve a 5,000 piece puzzle in 20 seconds. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do it, but
ask AI.
There was a great headline that Tony reposted pretty recently, which was Microsoft can't amidst what was it? Microsoft.
I'll find it. I'll find it real quick because I got to read it verbatim. But before that, because we don't want to get off too top. It's still on topic. But Chris, I want to read you the specific part I wanted to talk about.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll just because it's short. We will end this fiscal year at about a 3% accountability margin. Accountability margin. That's the phrase I'm going to understand. We will end this fiscal year at about a 3% accountability margin, down year over year. Excluding Activision Blizzard King, over the past 5 years, we have spent $20 billion on ongoing investments in our content platform and hardware subsidiary, but our annual revenue has declined nearly $500 million during that time. Going forward, this cannot continue. So that's the part I wanted you to remark on. What is the accountability margin? What's that?
Okay, so, and this must be a Microsoft thing. That's their operating profit, right? Your operating profit margin is you take into account margin after you account for other like costs, right? That's your operating profit. That's where the cuts come from, right? Because their operating profit is negative, right? Because their costs are too high. They're losing money, right? They're not pulling in enough net sales, enough revenue, so your operating profit goes down, and sometimes it's negative. So that's what they mean. That's a new term. I'm going to have to look at that because I think she's talking about operating profit, and that's in other reports I've read, like when I talk about Nintendo and Sony, they use that term. That's a standard term. I think maybe Microsoft just has their own like verbiage for it.
Okay, so I'm not tripping. I'm like, am I stupid? I'm like, I've never heard this term before.
Not at all. I'm gonna guess that's an internal metric, but it probably is operating profit if I had to guess.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's what it is, right?
That's gotta be
because there's no other margins to really go off of. There's
accountability margin.
Accountability margin. That's your operating profit margin. Then
yeah.
If that's the case, 3% is ridiculously low for a big company like that. Like usually, like these companies strive for 30% or more on profit margins when it comes to
Fuck. Okay, so if it's a profit margin, if that's what this phrase means, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, by the way, the quote Manny was talking about, and it's a fucking great, is a headline, PC Gamer. Microsoft doesn't know what to do about the memory crisis Microsoft is causing.
yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's great. It's either way, things are looking good. And then I'm also hearing that Asha said that these consoles cost too much. We can't keep doing that. So now people are speculating that she wants a more affordable console. But again, she could hope for an affordable. We all want affordable consoles, but with all this RAM shit going on, it doesn't matter what we want. Like she could tell these guys, hey, make something that's more affordable, and they do it, and then next week the fucking RAM prices go up again. Yeah. So I don't think she's being realistic if that's what she meant, because it's difficult now. Like we're on unstable ground. It's like, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
it's also fascinating that they're saying that they can't get enough of this stuff for their current consoles. Their current consoles aren't even really fucking selling.
Yeah. Oh,
And if they
yeah.
can't, and if they can't even keep up with that, it means it's pretty bad.
Yeah, because they can't manufacture enough. They can't meet the demand because they can't manufacture any because it costs too much fucking money to make them.
But it's like the demand is the lowest it's ever been for Xbox. Like you can literally buy any one of the Xboxes at any store currently.
Yeah, but that goes to show you just how bad things are. The demand is almost non-existent, and they still can't keep up even with that little bit of demand because these consoles cost so much to make. It's insane. It's fucking crazy.
And the whole thing with Xbox, and I've been thinking about the whole exclusivity thing with Gears. It seems kind of fishy, man.
Uh-oh.
It seems, how there's Tom Warren was going to was having a back and forth with
Greeny,
Aaron Greenberg.
Yep.
With the Greenie. And he was like, "Oh, this was last minute," and then Greenberg was like, "No, it wasn't."
Ooh.
And they're back and forth. To me, it sounds more like that because that it was last minute.
Yeah.
Because the reason there should be a reason to make Gears exclusive to a console that should be selling, but we already know the Xbox Series consoles aren't selling as well, and it's going down the wayside. And Project Helix is what's gonna hopefully bring it back up for Xbox. But why would you make Gears of War E-Day exclusive at this moment? What's the logical solution? You're kind of undercutting the coalition with a C with the sales. It's like I'm pretty sure they can sell at least around 1 million copies of Gears of War E-Day, on the PlayStation. So why would you make it exclusive right now when the Series X and S is about to, go down the wayside and make room for Project Helix? It just something seems fishy and it just leans more towards my line of thinking where I feel like it was all a reactionary move to the fanboy discussion.
I was just about to say that. I think she listened to these fanboys online, took it to heart, and then did this. And she's a CEO, so no one's going to tell her no. At this point, I don't even think we can say that it wasn't last minute. It clearly was because some Xbox podcast, like an official one, they had to remove the upload because there was a PS5 logo during the whole fucking time. For Gears E-Day. That lets you know this was mad last minute.
And Greenberg told Warren, he's like, "Oh, we no one knew about this.
Horse
it was
shit.
Like a select room of people." And it's like, well, no one told him to put PS5 on it.
Yeah.
Why did they even put it?
That's right. No, this is what the second, third time that a Gears of War game that was supposed to be on PlayStation got pulled last minute. Basically, it's crazy, man. I say sorry with all due respect, Mr. Greenberg. You're full of shit. You are full of shit. No one believes it.
Greenie.
So, yeah, this whole situation is crazy. We'll see what happens when those layoffs come. How many folks are gonna have to suffer?
What are they gonna do? And then also, like, I saw that other strategy they were talking about. Like, it was like going back to pushing the AAA titles, cutting down on niche titles. That was another thing that I had posted in our little chat earlier today. So what is that about? So,
that's one I haven't heard about. So if you could enlighten us on that a little bit.
Yeah, so it says Xbox is flexible, says Chief Strategy Officer Matthew Ball.
Yeah.
In a new interview, and he says we'll invest more in big IP, cut back on niche productions. Xbox.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So.
I can read it real quick. Yeah, we'll invest more in its big IP, cut back on niche products. Xbox can improve. How hard it will be or how long it'll take are different questions. It's quote unquote difficult to articulate why someone should buy an Xbox exclusives would help that. Xbox presence smaller in Japan, of course. PC is the most popular. Windows is where the world plays, so we encourage players to do so in those markets. working hard to rethink Helix, make things more affordable, new business models, and console is growing, not dying. No desire to move away from console. Yeah, I don't like that part about the niche stuff. It's like
he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. Yeah. You know what? Yes. He doesn't know. There you go. All this is just a bunch of rambling nonsense.
He's an executive type person that he just got hired, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, less than a month ago, he says.
Yeah, he doesn't know a single thing about the video game industry.
Yeah.
The fact that he said, we need to invest more on big name titles. That's what got you here. That's what's bringing Sony down.
Yep.
That's what's fucking up the industry. It's all these companies that consolidated all of these large companies that made all these bloated, budget titles. That's killing them in the butt. And you make we see in the movie industry like recently a lot of movies that are made for $1 million or less that are doing crazy numbers, and those are some huge accountability margins. When you make video games for 500 million, where the hell do you think you're gonna go? You're not GTA.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous the way that they're thinking. It's big titles. First of all, the freaking who the hell on the Xbox Game Studios can you trust with big money titles anymore?
None of them.
Maybe
just
Forza,
be honest. Forza's the only team. One. Yeah, that's the only reliable one.
Oh, here's a fun one. Yoshida posted a thing recently. It's it's like a, what do they call it? It's a thing with like an interview or something like that. And he goes, Asha's journey is fun to watch. And then Sean Layton has little popcorn buckets in the reply.
Man.
Salt. There's a lot of salt on that popcorn. That's crazy. Yeah. Hey, Brett.
What's up, guys?
Not much. Just talk about the big Xbox whiplash. Hey, there you are. What's that on your face?
It is the bandage from the massive amount of bleeding I am doing.
Yes, you got your surgery, right?
Yeah, you can see I'm having my period. I'm a woman now.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the fact that you're here is a good sign. You're not knocked out dead, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm just popping in. I'm highly drugged. Just wanted to let you guys know.
My man,
I'm alive. I'm well. I miss y'all. I'll be back as soon as I can, but I'm in a lot of pain and very cotton-headed and just basically kind of retarded. So I'm going to fix that with some Odin sleep, and I'll get back at y'all. But until then, I miss y'all. I love you guys.
Love you too,
Peace
brother.
Okay, what's up?
Good seeing you, Brett.
My man. Good stuff.
All right, guys. Have a good show. And the fans, I appreciate you guys all. Keep these guys in line while I'm gone, okay?
Yeah, the chat's giving you a shout out, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Good stuff.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Peace.
Later.
All right. That was good for Brett to show up.
His thing, he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need, but he's a motherfucking trooper, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Shout out to Brett.
When I had my operation, I wasn't on here.
Yeah, man. He was like, y'all gone, bitches. Fuck y'all. I ain't checking it for shit.
I gotta get out of my bed. Oh my God.
Shout out to Reggie, anyway, Xbox, you fucking up. That's all I can say. They're fucking up. Man.
Well, they have
not
been,
even a week.
Not even a week. Chris, I'm calling this episode Triumph and Tragedy because that's what it was.
That is, yeah. We came out. They came out strong, and now we're like, oh, we need the sound effect for Prices Right. Oh shit! There we go.
Oh man. Any other thoughts on the Xbox situation? Brian, get in here, man. I want to hear your thoughts, bro.
I've not been keeping up with it, so I don't really know much what's going on. But it seems like a general trend. Like companies just love shooting themselves in the face after they do something "quote unquote" smart. They just say, "Hey, you know what? Let's decide to kill our own company now." It's like, why? I don't understand the whole move to focus on big budget titles. again, as Manny said, this is literally what's destroying Sony at the moment, and everyone is saying don't do that, but yet they do that. So, yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Let's see who's still alive in 10 years.
Shoot.
Let's focus on big budget titles. You mean 2?
Yeah. Hold on, real quick.
I don't know.
So I want to get Rich's thoughts on this, but real quick, Reggie, what did you say in the chat to get yourself modded? You got to keep. I'm not saying you got to keep it family friendly, but you got to chill. Are you talking about Cambodian breast milk in that bitch? You can't do that.
No.
You know, what did you do, Reggie? You're supposed to be the clean one. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. What you saying?
Yeah. But yeah, Rich, what are your thoughts on this Xbox situation? And obviously, you know, you could tell us about your Xbox experience a little bit later on, but just this specific turn of, you know, turn of events, as it were, you know?
Well, I guess it's safe to say that Asha heard us. Whoever she heard us, and she heard the idiots that have been talking about all this stuff about, yes, we need exclusive games. We worship you, Asha Almighty, all this stuff. She heard all this stuff. I will say this, I believe when we recorded the last show, was there not a warning that was issued that where she said that there may be some things coming that people may not like? So this is
correct.
Yeah, so this is the result of this. My only issue with this, because again, they released this whole thing, they call it a reset. What I don't like about that statement, when they released that statement, is that it was still very vague in what exactly they were going to do. And then you find out later it's these other outlets that are reporting and say, oh yeah, Xbox is having layoffs, all this other stuff. And I want them to be very specific moving forward about exactly what they're doing. So if they're going to lay off a studio, if they're going to close a studio, just come out and say, we're closing so-and-so studio. Don't say, yes, we acknowledge that there are issues and we don't quite know what we're going to do yet, but we got to do something. No, that's not good enough. I want them to be more specific about what it is that they're doing. But I will say this, as I had mentioned in the chat, and I'm going to make this public announcement now. Asha has definitely alluded to me that certain individuals, such as our very good friend Chris and Carlos, they have not been purchasing any Xbox games. They have not been supporting Game Pass. So she said she blames those two in particular for why they are now in shambles.
Yes, Carlos and I apparently are the pillars of accountability, Arjun.
Oh, man.
We'll put her in the accountability chat. Let her explain.
Yeah, put her in the accountability chat.
Where do you think they got it from? They got it from our Discord.
Yo, man, you're fucking it up for Xbox, man.
Here's the thing, Rich. I gotta. Could you pass me the tinfoil hat?
Oh, we're getting the hat. We're getting the hat.
It's a full hat.
Not the headband. You know, not the do-rag.
Not the do-rag, not the bandana, not the tinfoil. Not the chancleta. The full hat.
Tinfoil sunglasses.
But it's not a sombrero yet. But that's for a more important one. But here's the thing. I have a theory. Sharma said these, the reckoning is coming next month, right? Where where Wada Sharma turns into the Sharminator. Yep. And what comes out next month?
Assassin's Creed,
Halo, campaign evolved. So my theory is, I wonder if Halo Studios has something coming from Sharma after that release. It is a late July release, so we'll see. But
now that you mention it, Carlos, I did find it very funny that after the Xbox showcase, right on Monday, PlayStation was going ham promoting Halo, bro. They were going in, So you might be right about that. Crazy stuff, man. But yeah, I want to go back to something Rich said, because I I know it does sound like a weird conspiracy theory too, but I think it's true. I honestly do think Asha Sharma was listening to these idiots on Twitter and basing it off of them. Because remember, what was it? She said something, and these guys, and they're like, no, we'll reset. It was about exclusives. She said, we'll put our games on whatever platform, something to that effect. No, Asha, you gotta have exclusives. And there's, oh, you're right, my bad. It was the fucking logo gate. That's what it was. Remember, literally, she was like, okay, we'll reassess things. No, you don't. You don't have to reassess shit. Like, don't listen to these fanboys.
That's what pissed me off about the Aaron Greenberg tweet. He said he busted out a tweet where he's like, "Oh, Gears of War 3 or Gears of War E-Day is going to be an exclusive," like puffing his chest out and shit. I'm like, bro, you're part of the same You're part of like the last 3 administrations where they flip flop every freaking time. And you're acting like you're taking a stand, like a principled stance.
The TV administration. You shut up.
Yeah,
you shut up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reassessment is fine, but my problem is you can't do is break contracts. You can't reach out to Sony at the 0 hour and go pull that trailer. Like, you have contract signs. There's legal stuff involved. You can't. I mean, like, I agree with you. If she did that, then she is listening to these guys. You cannot make a knee-jerk reaction like that. You have to plan ahead if you're going to start pulling things to be exclusive. Like, if she literally told Sony, "Hey, you better not show this trailer," that's insane. Like, you can't do things like that.
So, do you think that's that 3% loss? Them essentially paying off Sony and be like, "Hey, listen, we're pulling out."
No, well, it's that was the profit was 3%.
Their accountability profit. The problem is, like, I mean, when you think about all the hits they've taken on hardware sales, on Game Pass decline, all that stuff. That's why their operating profit's 3%. Like, in comparison, like, I think Nintendo hit almost 16%. The last report I did, Sony was at about 10%, and usually they're higher. Like, Sony's hit 24%. So like Carlos said, those numbers are always way higher. And even with hits, like I mentioned in the last fiscal report for Sony, the hit they took on Bungie, the impairment cost, the amount of money they poured into Marathon alone was ridiculous. And even with that, their operating profit was pretty good. It was actually higher than last year. So there's things that to be done. But when you plan out, like, if they want to pull back on exclusives, and you need some stuff, right, to sell if you're still planning to sell a system, which they are, to make your Project Helix, you need a reason for people to buy that system and to play on that system. But you can't reach out and you can't, compared, like, it's like Nintendo showing up at CES in 92 and going, "Hey, you know what? We're working with Philips," right? Didn't tell Sony they're still working on the Super Nintendo CD. Yeah. And what happened? You get the PlayStation. You can't do shit like that, right? You have to. There's things that have to be done. There's papers. There's contracts signed. You have to work through the system, and then the next time, if you have stuff in the pipeline that hasn't, the ink is not dry, you could pull that stuff, sure, but you can't reach out on the day before a trailer's supposed to drop and go, "Hey, don't drop that trailer. We're rethinking this," right? That's not how this is supposed to work.
It's crazy, man. All right, any other thoughts before we move on?
I would like to ask a very quick question, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I got to ask this question because I know you guys did the Xbox reaction.
Yeah.
Let's just ask an honest question. Do you guys think, are you sold that this Clockwork Revolution game is an exclusive that would convince somebody to buy an Xbox? Because I got to tell you, I'm not convinced. That is at least from what I saw, that is a worthy exclusive. But I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
I agree with Rich. I heard some of that dialogue in there, and I was like, I don't think this is it. This is not the one.
I'm going to say, go ahead.
I'll go quick. It looks like a good game, but it doesn't look like a system seller type game.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I feel like it's feeling like we're feeling like a We Happy Few situation here again.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, where it's like
that's a good call.
you know, like that one also had an unbelievable amount of push behind it, and it was absolutely nothing.
Was Reggie says to Rich's question? Hell no. I'm gonna say this, man. I've been thinking about this for a little bit. Something controversial to say, potentially. No. And I'm actually glad Brett is in here because he would get mad at me for saying this.
Do
you guys remember when we did our breakdown of like what were our favorite games of the Xbox Showcase, right? You notice that I didn't bring up, aside from Gears, I didn't bring up a single exclusive. That is because I am not impressed by these. I'm going to call them 1800 games. I this is just me speaking for myself. I don't find that aesthetic appealing. That Victorian era, Jules Verne, steampunk shit appealing. So to have like 3 games that look like that, I'm like, okay, we're going a little overboard here. At that moment, I understood where Manny was coming from, where he says he's sick of quote unquote night games, you know, medieval shit. I'm like, yeah, guys, it's a little too much with this Victorian shit right now, you know?
Yeah, well, there's at least 3 of them in there, and then the other one, the magician one, is not.
That's
really
I consider. I'm throwing that in there too. You know, I'm just speaking for myself. I don't find that appealing. That's why I didn't name any of that stuff. That magician game, this clockwork game. There was another one. There was like 3 of them. I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know. Go ahead, Carl.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Rich.
This is actually a question for Carlos. So to go to go to what Tony said, Carlos, did you feel the same when you saw that Wu Long 2 game? Like this is a whole nother whatever it is, the Souls like whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Wu game. Yeah.
Brett is actually hyped for it because he liked the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yes, it is just too much, man. I mean, you know, they don't stop coming out. There's too many. There's too many.
But
I do have
Wu games ain't nothing.
Yeah.
I have a question for Tony.
Oh, excuse me.
So I don't the aesthetic that you're talking about. I see it. I don't necessarily just say it's Victorian.
That's why I said 1800s. Look, you know, just to,
I'm gonna
yeah.
I'll give you 3 games and tell me if they fit within what you're talking about.
Okay.
Previous games. BioShock.
Infinite definitely has that steampunk type of deal. Yes, definitely that. And before you said Bloodborne, it's literally Victorian shit, you know?
Yeah.
The Order 1886.
That's another one.
Granted, that wasn't that Victorian stuff wasn't done that much, then.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, yeah. But to have 3 of them back to back, because it is one of these things. It's like I'll take a Victorian type of game over some fucking, science fiction. I love science fiction over some sci-fi roguelike any day. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's sort of just the back to back. Like, listen. This is one of these things where it's like a food that I'll eat, but it's not something I'm a fan of generally. You know what I'm saying? So
I got 2 more.
Go ahead.
Deathloop.
That's sort of 60s sci-fi game.
Here's the funny thing. That was actually a game I thought of because I've been thinking about this whole week. No, it doesn't because it's a 1950s game. But even my mind went there. You know.
3rd game.
Yeah.
Liza P.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's another game that I can't think of that fits this for me, but I forgot the name. I think it was it might have been a Bethesda game. But yeah,
Yeah.
There's more of these types of games than people think.
Yeah.
Like the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like,
but just getting them all in one showcase, all from one studio, effectively Xbox. I'm like, hey guys, what are we doing here?
Some of those, I don't think all of those were all Xbox exclusives, though.
No, but they were Xbox studios, weren't they, or developed? And not developed,
the only one
published.
The only published one that's published by Xbox is is that last one. That's the exclusive. The other ones are from other studios.
Yeah. Even publishers, right? Okay, yeah.
They're different publishers. They're just showing those
it could be just me, but it was like, there's a lot for one thing. Just like back in the day, I remember there's a lot of Monster Hunter type of games in this presentation. Same type of deal. Monster Hunter, like you guys remember that era, right? But yeah, anyway, that's the Xbox stuff. Like I said, that article pretty much had like 3 topics I wanted to cover. So we'll go right into Nintendo Direct. I was originally going to do like a truncated version, Nintendo Direct. I think we may do the whole thing now because there's.
You want to do the whole thing,
Manny? Okay. There's time now.
There's time now.
But obviously we're not going to spend too much on either because let's just be honest. Most of us here don't give a fuck about Nintendo.
From the get, like 90% of the games on there, all games from 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, look, it's Devil May Cry. It's like, wait, where are we?
Yeah, like Robin Williams. What year is it?
What year is this?
Yeah. But yeah, Nintendo started the show in grand fashion with a game everybody's been waiting for, Rhythm Heaven Groove. Like, what the fuck are we doing right now?
Hey, man, those stupid ass games seem to do pretty damn well for them.
Apparently. I guess. Logic
Ubisoft
wins. You crazy, bro. He goes my favorite Nintendo Direct of all time. All right, bro.
Ubisoft is still making money off of those, apparently.
Yeah. And then we got a block of Capcom games. Onimusha, it's coming to the Switch, believe it or not.
Day one, which, by the way, is a demo. You guys should play it.
Very nice. Dio says he didn't even watch Nintendo Direct. You didn't miss anything. Next one, Dragon's Dogma 2 coming to Switch.
Dogma 2. We'll see if they manage to fix that game because that game had all kinds of running issues on all the other main consoles. So we'll see if this iteration will fix a lot of the issues. By the way, there's also there's a story update happening for that.
That's good. I guess that's why it's called Dark Arisen.
Yep, there's a big story update that's going to happen, and they're going to do a bunch of paint changes. So hopefully, it'll fix all those issues that game had previously.
Yeah. And Manny, you already mentioned this old game, Devil May Cry 5.
Devil May Cry 5, a game that was released when the Switch original Switch came out, and the original Switch could not play it, but now it can.
Yeah. At least Switch 2 can. So there you go.
Yeah, Switch 2 can. Yeah.
Stellar Blade. Very interesting. Capitalizing on the hype of the new game, so there you go.
Also, Shift Up got the rights back to from PlayStation, which means they made a shitload of money. Bought that shit back. So
yeah, that's right. Rayman Legends, we knew that was coming. Rayman Legends Foretold.
Yep.
Another old game, Muramasa Revenant Blades. This is an old game too, isn't it? Or is it
Muramasa. It's like an update of Muramasa the Demon Blade, which came out for PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Then it got ported to PS4.
Yeah. Game of the year right here, Hello Kitty Party Land.
Oh, whoa. So isn't that the one that looks like Miitomo, where it's on a little island and everything?
Probably.
I think that's what it is.
Who cares? Next, we got a game called Orbitals. I don't know what that's about.
Orbitals, that's the one that looks like an old anime.
Yeah, it kind of does look like it.
It's like it's a cool idea. That they want to go for like an old anime aesthetic. They got a pretty decent animation studio to do all the animation on it, and but it's like a co-op sort of game. Like It Takes Two.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I play. The gameplay started. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like a far away little co-op deal.
But the animations themselves look bad.
they're sort of going with like a limited animation style. So they're like,
it's a shame because
trying-
the cinemas look cool, but yeah,
they're trying to emulate that sort of style to their game.
Yeah,
But you know, it's an exclusive. It's only at least for now. I think it's only Switch and PC.
yeah. A video that's currently unavailable is for Big Walk, whatever that is.
Big Walk. Oh, let me see.
Yeah,
what that
I
was.
would tell you, but I can't play the video for whatever reason.
Okay.
All right, so we'll skip that. Next, we got Pokemon. I don't know if it's Pokopia or Pokopia. One of them. It's an expansion
think,
pass. Which one,
Oh,
Chris?
just go ahead. The Big Walk is that indie game with those weird creatures just walking around the world.
Oh yeah,
It's just a walking simulator it's a co-op walking simulator. That's all
okay.
it is.
yeah. They showed this one before. I think on PlayStation they showed this.
It's on Steam, or it will
on
be.
Steam.
So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you got your Pokemon expansion pass. It's that Pokemon game that is basically Dragon Quest Builders or whatever.
Okay.
Next up, we got One Piece Grand Gourmet. It's like a One Piece cooking game, which is interesting. Sanji, obviously, got him cooking in there. So that's kind of cool. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Because I don't know Nintendo, is this a new game or a remake?
I think it's a new game.
All right. So
Wait, let me
It's
see.
a new game.
Wait, which
game?
one? Fire Emblem?
Fortune's Weave.
Fortune's Weave.
It's a new game. Yeah, it's different from past Fire Emblems. Fire Emblems are more strategy. It's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics and all that stuff. It's kind of like that, but this game is different.
Like a turn-based deal, you think?
Yeah, but there's I don't know, like the whole plot and everything is different than the usual Fire Emblem games.
Aren't Fire Emblem games already turn-based, or am I tripping?
They are turn-based. It's not that,
Well,
but you
it's
you
more
have enemies
strategy.
and stuff. I think it's like a competition. I think the Fortune's Weave has something to do with the kingdom. I don't remember. My old brain.
10. Well, there you go. If you like Fire Emblem. Next up,
the character designs are nice.
next up, we have it's either Ninjala or Ninjala. I don't know. Anyway, it's the second one of these. So there you go. I don't know. Who cares? Pikunuku 2. I didn't know there was a Pikunuku 1.
I feel like a lot of people said that one on that one.
Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen. You got what is this? A brawler, I guess. Who cares? Donkey Kong challenges. So I guess it's more challenges for Donkey Kong.
Yeah, so that one is what they did because it's like the anniversary. I think it's the 40th anniversary for Nintendo or Mario. So they're doing they're adding extra stuff to the previous Donkey Kong game. So you get new outfits. They have a Mario and Luigi outfit for Donkey Kong and Pauline, and then there's all these new levels and stuff.
Yeah. All right. And it looks like there's more content for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Pretty cool.
That's it right there.
No, because there is two things. There's Donkey Kong challenges, where it's like you get to play the old games and like these weird little challenges.
Okay, yeah. So I guess it's a new thing.
Yeah.
A new thing on its own.
And then it's Donkey Kong Bonanza is what you talked about, the 40th anniversary deal.
Yep, that was it.
Yeah, so it's two different things.
I thought it was the same thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Minecraft thing, so whatever.
It's a sequel to that one. It's a Minecraft fantasy sort of turn-based thing, as I remember.
Oh, this is just Minecraft.
This is just Minecraft.
Okay, so what was the other one? There's another Minecraft thing where it's just like a new world. Like
you mean Minecraft Dungeons?
Yeah, Minecraft Dungeons it's got a sequel.
Yeah,
in there.
This is literally just called Minecraft.
Yeah, this is just Minecraft.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a straight port. Yeah.
Another speaking about ports, Lords of the Fallen 2. So
Lords of the Fallen.
There you go. And another port, Lies of P.
Yep, Lies of P. Which again, another Korean studio, by the way.
Yeah. And yet more ports. Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah.
I love the somebody did a comparison of all the different ports of that game. And you just literally slowly but surely see the game getting clearer and clearer. I think that game was on DS or something like that.
Well,
I
the
wouldn't
first
know.
Xenoblade Chronicles was on the Wii.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was on the Wii. So it shows like a DS, and they show a Wii version, and then they keep showing them go up. So they've been putting it on everything.
Again, I haven't played Xeno games since Xenosaga, so I have no idea about these games. So, which goes to my next point: Xenoblade Genesis. Is this a new game or a remake?
You can see.
Again, shows how much we know about Nintendo.
I think it's technically Xenoblade Chronicles 4.
Interesting.
Just calling it something else.
Thank you guys in the chat. New game, so it is a new game. So
Okay, yes, there you go.
there you go. Next up, we got Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. Okay. RuneScape, Dragon Wilds, Star Fox. All right, here's one I'm interested in. Finally got something I'm interested in. Final Fantasy Resonance. Now, what's interesting about this one is it's taking Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which was a mobile game, and they're reimagining it as a proper Final Fantasy game. You know,
and that's going to be multi-platform though.
Multi-platform, first Final Fantasy that is HD 2D, and it's turn-based. People, I'm wondering if Square Enix is testing the waters. You know,
I feel like they are.
So that's good. It looks fucking gorgeous too. So I'm there. October 22nd. I'm just mad about the time. How am I going to have time to play this? You know?
Yes, time now.
But yeah, that's great. Good stuff. Dust Bloods. I don't. If it's anything like Night Rain, I'm good. I'll skip that. Right, Chris?
Oh yeah, please. I'm done.
We do not need that trash.
We still don't know anything about that game.
Not really. There's going to be a closed beta soon. No closed network tests. Excuse me, during the summer. Next, we got Dragon Quest Monsters. So if you like Dragon Quest Monsters, there you go. I guess it's their answer to Pokemon, which is kind of interesting. You could breed the monsters and everything.
It's done well for them. They keep making them.
Yeah. Next up, we got Splatoon Raiders. So if you like Splatoon, there you go.
You get a new Splatoon.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I want to go back a little bit. The sports game. There was one where, you have to do. It was like finger wrestling, whatever, thumb wrestling.
Yeah, thumb wrestling.
Yeah. And that's all become a meme now. You know, if you guys have seen Twitter, you know, because it's all motion controls. All right. So Splatoon Raiders. There you go. I don't know if it's. Whatever, who cares? It's another port metaphor. Rifantasio.
Again, another game. Hopefully, that will get an update on across the board to get that game running a bit better, because it was not running very well on the PS5. So, or it was a PS4 game too, as I remember, right?
Which one?
Rifantasio. I think it was also a PS4 title.
Maybe. So I don't know.
But anyway, that thing did not run. It did not run very well on anything, even PC. So hopefully this iteration, will give them another chance to sort of fix all the bugs of the old one, old update.
Next up, we have. I love this title. Deltarune's next chapter has a date. I didn't even know what Deltarune was until I saw this presentation. So, but that's another chapter. All right, and then this one is a sizzle reel. So they show DayZ, cool edition, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Tales of Eternia remastered, Atelier Caria, Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year anniversary, SnowRunner, Observer, Warhammer 40,000, Space Marines 2, Everbloom, Fitness Boxing 3, and Manny, Metal Gear Solid Collection 2.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid Collection. Apparently a Switch can run it.
it's not insane.
Especially 4, right?
When we originally played Metal Gear Solid 4, we never would have imagined that it would come back on a Nintendo console.
I mean, it theoretically, it also, like a Metal Gear game on the old one. You had the first Collection 1 on there, so now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
but it's pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
They're going across the board. So everybody's getting Metal Gear Solid 4. And Peace Walker was on Xbox, as I remember.
Yes, it was. Another port. Kingdom Hearts Collection.
Kingdom Hearts Collection with its questionable cover. Which the internet is very says that one is very sus, because there's a lot of, if you look at the closely at that cover, there's a lot of weird issues with it that don't make any sense. Characters having more fingers than they should have, some really weird proportions and drawing issues, big giant Popeye arms. So a lot of people are saying that is it's either partially AI'd or all AI'd. And also the background buildings look all weird and funky too.
Man, I have to take a look at that, man. That's fucked up. And then we got the last two games of the show, which are legitimately like, whoa, that's big stuff. First up, Kingdom Hearts 4.
Kingdom Hearts 4. A big one for Nintendo, because the last time we saw anything Kingdom Hearts 4 was for the PS during one of the PlayStation experiences, not experience, the whatever State of Plays.
Yeah.
A while ago.
So there you go. Obviously no release date, but pretty big. And you didn't have to wait like 15 years for a sequel. Like you did between Kingdom Hearts like 2 and 3,
Granted to 3, it's been a while. What 3 came out 2019, right?
Yeah.
So
something like that.
A little over 5 years?
Yeah.
6 years?
Again, not as long as like 15 years, like you had to wait before.
I mean, it's weird, because it's like the franchises are meant for kids, but all the kids are all fucking old people now.
Yeah, that's right.
I made a joke on my Twitter. I'm like, my beard was black when that last game came out.
Oh man. And then the last one. The surprise for this kind of got ruined because of the leaks, but Ocarina of Time remake, the second remake, because there was one on 3DS.
Yeah, there was the remake, so we're getting another one. I'm it's cool to see it again, but again, it's like, is that what we're doing? Is that we're just going to remake everything?
Yep.
Now,
and Chris, I want your thoughts on this. I think this is going to be their big game for the year, because it's coming out this year, and I don't see anything else coming out.
Yeah, it will be. They need something. I think it'll be hilarious. I want to see how close they get to GTA 6. Yeah. I want to see how close this launch game gets to GTA 6. I'm very curious about that, when they're gonna launch this.
Do they think they're safe in the blue ocean?
Well, that's my gamble. I'm like, how far are you in the blue ocean that you think you can launch like the week of GTA 6 or whatever? I'm just curious. But one of the disappointing things of the Direct, though, this thing got like a minute of coverage. Like they had that narration, and they show Link line there, and it's like, Ocarina 2026. I'm like, yo, you gave more time to Kingdom Hearts than you did to your own fucking remake. What's going on here? Well, what's going on here? This needed more coverage.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh, we'll have another Direct, great, an announcement of an announcement," as Carlos says. So great.
Yep, another one. I like what this article says here from GameSpot. It says, "We don't know the release date. Please don't let it be September." Yeah, because everything's coming down in September. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So there's the Nintendo Direct. What do you guys think?
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, good for Nintendo fans, right?
Yeah, they get their things.
So there you go.
I'm excited for the Ocarina of Time remake. Hopefully they do it justice. And who knows? Maybe I'll play Kingdom Hearts for the first time with this new one.
I'm slightly concerned, Carlos, because remember, this game did not have voice up until now, and then hearing that narration in the beginning, Tapestry, I'm like, this is a serious game still, right? We're not doing like a parody.
No.
That narration was goofy as shit. I was like, what is happening?
Oh, so they're implying that's going to be part of the game? I thought it was just for the trailer.
I mean, maybe I don't. It looked like it was part of the game, but I have no clue because it goes. It leads right into the beginning of the game. That's how Ocarina starts with him sleeping, right? And then Navi comes in and wakes him up in the Deku Tree or whatever. But I mean, they've been doing this tapestry thing the last 2 games, right? With Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, with the whole like, in the Kingdom of Hyrule. Also, a little nerdy shit here, but the guy said a long time ago in the Kingdom of Hyrule. I'm like, so when are you narrating this from? Like, so we're not in the present, we're in the future, and you're talking about the past. Like, that was kind of weird to me because the old games never had anything like that.
That's a good point. Rich, what's up?
I just want to make a comment, and I'm going to steal Carlos's tinfoil hat theory for this.
Have it.
I call cap on this game releasing this year because I don't understand why you would say 2026. We're in June. There's only 6 months left in this year. And normally when a game is announced, we have a precedent for this. When a game is announced at a Summer Game Fest event or whatever, sometimes there's a release date. Perfect example, Resident Evil Requiem. They came out and said, hey, this is coming out in February of next year. They didn't say it's coming out in 2027. They said it is coming out in February, and it launched in February. So I will question why Nintendo, they know people were waiting for this game because of the leaks, like you said, Tony. I would like to know, well, damn, you don't even have a window. You didn't say fall 2026. It just said 2026. So I don't know if I believe this game is going to even make it this year until they show more.
I'll address your concerns, Rich. I think they didn't plan on even talking about this game now, and they squeezed that in because of the leaks. Notice the little time it got. Like I've seen enough of these, and I've seen enough of these put together where they planned this carefully, and they would, like you said, that you're absolutely right. They would have had at least a month on there. It's coming out this year. I think they stumbled over themselves and put this together in a rush to get it out for some, and they didn't even make Summer Games Fest. It was this Tuesday of this week.
Yeah, that's right.
But they gave it so little time for such an epic for one of your flagship IPs, and also the game that's considered the peak of your flagship IP got a minute and like maybe 80, 90 seconds of time. Like I said, I was like, you gave Kingdom Hearts more time than this. Why would you do that? I think this was hastily put together to address the leak, right? And that's it. And that's why they're like, they quickly said, "Oh, stay tuned. We'll have more information," right? You know, while they go internally hunt down the leakers, they have the judge hunters going around Nintendo of America trying to figure out who's leaking all this.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with that theory. Yeah, that's a good one because now that you think about it, it was very like abrupt, you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. All right, and that's that. Before we get to what I'm calling Rich's Summer Game Fest adventures, we have to do our due diligence here and talk about the weekly Ubisoft L. Now this L is very interesting.
Wait. How are they illing? They just Rayman? They just showing Assassin's Creed? What's going on?
They're Ellen again. They're back to it, you know? So Ubisoft is closing down its Winnipeg studio, and dozens are laid off. Not a rumor. It has already happened.
Oh.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. And I've been in this industry since 2012. I've never heard of a situation like this.
Hello, Steve Dave.
They sent this to news outlets with an embargo. Do not talk about these layoffs until this date. I've never heard of such a thing. Rich, get in here, man. Have you heard of anything like this? Because I sure haven't. I have never received an email that says, do not talk about these layoffs. Never.
Oh, no, that's definitely a first. And from what I understand, there were other Ubisoft studios that they also did more cuts because one of our favorite sources, Harry and the Hendersons, These guys publish multiple stories about Ubisoft Studios. The same day they publish this story, within an hour or two, they publish, oh yeah, and this Ubisoft is also restructuring this studio as well. So clearly, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but yeah. But I've never heard of this before. Definitely not.
Yeah, so I'm reading this from a guy called Mike Straw. I guess he works for Insider Gaming. He says Ubisoft embargoed news to outlets about the layoffs and studio closures. Employees were told this morning, and then many reached out to us. Companies trying to embargo layoffs and closures might be the most embarrassing thing I've seen in my 16 years. See, even he's like, what the fuck is this shit? That is crazy. I've never heard of that. That's a huge L, Ubisoft, you fucking up. So, not good. All right, and with that out of the way, let us. I'm gonna hand the floor over to Rich, so you can regale us some stories of Summer Game Fest. The usual stuff. Tell us what you saw, the games you played, and all that fun jazz.
Oh yes. So I will try not to ramble for too long. If there are any games that you guys want to hear more details about, definitely ask questions, but let me just start with and say this about Summer Game Fest. Prior to going to the event, I have said multiple times, 2026 is a pretty great year for video games. And obviously, I saw the Summer Game Fest presentation. I believe that Tony is still recovering from that show because there was a lot of heavy hitters. And I could tell you, and even as I had already mentioned to you guys, when I knew some of the stuff that was going to be at Summer Game Fest, I was not really convinced this was going to be a massive show compared to the other Summer Game Fest events I went to. I have to say now, gaming is absolutely incredible. It's going to get even better. Some of the stuff I saw is like, yeah, this is. I think we're in for a lot more good times ahead. If everything goes according to plan, but we'll see what happens. But I wanted to make a comment about that. So I'm going to run this down with pretty much what I saw on certain days and so on and so forth. One thing I will get into, obviously, Friday was the Summer Game Fest show. I was there live. I got a chance to see your boy Hip Hop Gamer, and this time I saw him before I heard him. So, that clearly a bit of a different experience.
Yeah. By the way, Rich, I can confirm to you that during some of those presentations that were streamed, you absolutely heard Hip Hop Gamer. Like we all heard his ass. Yep. Like during the main Summer Game Fest presentation, you heard Hip Hop Gamer there, bro.
So let me say this because one time in particular, I know he was loud for. I have to mention this. When they announced the Stranger Than Heaven news and they had Tupac, okay, that was quite an interesting experience because the people that were sitting all near me, they were very confused. Like, who the hell is this guy? Oh, wow. And I looked down the aisle, and your boy Hip Hop Gamer is just like, yo, this is amazing, yo. It just he lost his mind. He lost his mind. Obviously, there's a lot more to that story. We won't really get into that right now, but there was some funny reactions with that because obviously the people that were around me, clearly they're not really hip hop heads from what I saw. So I laughed when I saw they were confused about this news. I think it goes to show, but hey, it is what it is. But overall, like I said, Jeff, the show was great. I think Jeff needed this show to be great after what happened with everyone's highly anticipated game that launched in January and is no longer active right now. So, this was a good event. And one thing I will say about this event, also, I have to give props to Jeff Keighley and the team because they had this event at the Dolby Theater, which is obviously this is in LA, Hollywood, in that area. That is the perfect place to have this event because they have so many other things around that area. Whereas when they had it at the previous event, it was YouTube. At another stick. Yeah, YouTube, and there was absolutely nothing near YouTube. You had to go out of your way. So this was a perfect place for them to have it. I hope they have it there at that same venue moving forward because everything is around the area. There's shopping, there's restaurants, everything is around the area. So that was great. After I went to that event, I did go to the IO Interactive event, and they pretty much, the IO Interactive, I think it was all access. They were basically celebrating, the launch of 007, and that's when they were reporting the news about the game. At the time, had sold 2.7 million copies. Now it has sold 3 million copies, which was awesome. And one little quick thing I will mention very briefly about this. Why? Because this is, again, like when you go to these events, obviously you're there to see games. You're obviously there to learn about certain stuff because they were talking about working on the game. And the actual creator who was on this project had made a comment talking about this game had been in development for 7 years. When he started this game, his daughters were pretty much small. Now they're like, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of, when I hear that and then I see that and they talk about how the response was, because even when they had the review embargo, which we already talked about, that review embargo was very tight. He was telling everybody, all the devs, listen, don't worry about the reviews. Know that we feel confident that we made a great game. And then he did say, well, I had to take that back because obviously, the reviewers all love the game as well. So glad to hear a success story like that in terms of what happened with that game. And then just to get a feel of how it impacted certain people and their families. That's a different side of certain stuff I don't normally hear about some of this stuff. So I did want to acknowledge that was pretty good, pretty cool to hear that information. So moving on now to the main event. What all of you are here for, all right? So Summer Game Fest, my first day Summer Game Fest, I got a chance to, my very first appointment was with Capcom. And obviously I got a chance to, they had a presentation for Omnimusha as well as Resident Evil Veronica. Now, let's clarify this right now. Resident Evil Veronica, we already know. If you don't know, they confirmed this is a third-person game. There's no first-person stuff like it was with Requiem. They said the same team that worked on Resident Evil Remake 2 and 4, they started working on this game right after they finished that game. So when they had the release, because it did say 2027, but you notice it didn't say a release date.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when this game is coming out. I will just say I don't believe it's a game that's coming out in February. This is possibly, I would think, the second half of 2027, only because they didn't announce a release date. But again, when Gamescom happens in a couple of months, they very well might have something to announce. But the presentation itself, we just got a chance to go in the room. We were talking with the producer. They did not show any other gameplay footage. Then this is why I say this game is probably not coming out early 2027, because normally at those behind closed doors things, they would show you more information, more stuff about the game. They didn't really show anything else about it. So we have to wait for more details. Although I will make mention of this because they also told us, hey, you guys can ask certain questions. Obviously, there's some stuff that we cannot talk about. Two very interesting questions that were asked is somebody asked this producer, how many teams does Capcom have working on Resident Evil games? And he outright said, I cannot answer that question. So, very, very interesting. Obviously, he said, yeah, they've been working on this for a while. We already know they're working on DLC for Requiem right now. And of course, whatever the next Resident Evil game is after this. But we'll have to wait to find out some information. And then somebody asked this question. And when they asked this question, I immediately thought of Brian, when somebody had the nerve to ask this guy, what can you tell us about Dino Crisis? Is Capcom working on a Dino Crisis game? And he laughed because he knew that somebody was going to ask that question. He said, obviously, I know that I was going to get that question, and I really can't say anything about anything about that. So don't really know what that means. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I just think it's interesting that they were very clear and said you can't ask certain things, and somebody was bold enough to ask that question to somebody who isn't even working on that game. I thought that was very interesting. So we'll see.
Well, they probably see that Resident Evil connection, right? Because the Dino Crisis was literally Resident Evil with dinosaurs.
Yes, hey, that's a very good point. I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So that was it for pretty much Resident Evil Veronica. We did get a chance to see Omnimusha, and then later on, I got a chance to play a demo for another demo for Omnimusha that takes place later in the game. The game is phenomenal, and I don't know. I think they were using TLC monitors for every game at Summer Game Fest, so the game looks incredible. When I saw that game, I said, "Yeah, I need to get another a 4K TV ASAP. I have to get one immediately." When I saw that, it looks really good. Pretty much, the combat is similar, and then of course they had a boss fight. That boss fight was rather difficult, I would say. This is on the normal difficulty, and I was fighting the boss, got down to the last hit, and then all of a sudden another gauge comes out of nowhere, similar to stuff that we've seen in other games. But the demo was phenomenal. The game is dropping in September, so I definitely will be talking more details about some of these games on the Coalition as well as the Coalition Gaming, so stay tuned for that. Moving on to what else I saw on Saturday, I got a chance to check out that game Impulsive. This is the game that you guys heard, where it's made by the people that made Splitgate, and it's like a Titanfall type. Yeah, it's like their whole version of a Titanfall game. I have to admit, the game is pretty good. The mechs in the game, however, very, very OP. Because I picked up one of the mechs. I was getting a whole bunch of kill streaks on a whole bunch of people. So they may need to tweak that a little bit, because that mech, when you get into that mech, it is very OP. But the game is pretty fun. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You're fighting mechs and so on and so forth, and there's also human soldiers and stuff like that. So we'll see where that goes. There'll be more details about that soon. I got a chance to check out Crazy Taxi.
Oh, we got to hear about this one.
And okay, now in this one again, and this was another situation where we did not get a chance to play the game. However, the creator of Crazy Taxi is also working on this game, so we got a chance to talk with him. He got a chance to talk about the history of this franchise, how it got started, how this whole idea was to make a racing game, and then somebody decided to pose the idea, why don't you make it a taxi? And that started off as a joke, and then it actually became what the game is. So obviously I got a chance to see the game. I think they released some gameplay footage like a day or two ago.
Oh yeah.
The game looks awesome. It's pretty much the same game you remember. They've added some other things. There's a couple other things they added, some other modes, other worlds to explore within the game. And they just said, 2027 is when it's coming out. There was no, I don't think there's any specific release date, unless I just saw 2027. But yeah, that was cool to see that. Next up, and this is obviously, I got a chance to see one game that everybody and their mama has been talking about, and that is Blood Message. Now, let's say this right now. I saw this game because we actually got an email about this game a year ago. A year ago, I saw that this game was sent out. It's obviously Chinese action. They call it an action adventure, a cinematic action adventure type game. There's gameplay footage out there. Obviously, I will be doing more coverage of it. But I got to say this, in my opinion, like I said, Omnimusha, the best thing I saw this day, this had to be a very close second, because and the thing is, I saw a preview of the gameplay before going to Summer Game Fest. I could say that now. Obviously, I was under an embargo. But when you actually play the game, it's just a completely different type of experience. There is some stuff that is cinematic in there, the action and stuff, but it's hard to describe. I would imagine it's similar to like an Assassin's Creed game, the way the character moves and is running through certain stuff. But again, the action element, and they have certain things where you have a partner when you're fighting with somebody at the very start of the demo. You see that they're in trouble. You have to save them but you also have to be careful with how you're doing, with the parrying and the combat. But I could see why that game was excited about that game. That was one game they were talking about a lot during the show. Don't have a release date yet, so have to stay tuned for details on that. And then the last thing I saw on Saturday, this is a game that obviously I think Tony is going to be very excited for. I got a chance to play this Godzilla game. Godzilla game that they announced. And I have to say this, Atari, very, very, very smart to release this game. Obviously, everybody is making a big deal about it releasing in November because of GTA. But here's the thing. It's releasing on Godzilla Day. Okay, that's smart. Then number two is they actually got the original creators of this game to work on this remaster.
Oh, that's dope.
So the models, the character models look awesome. I got a chance to play a couple of matches with one of the people working on the game. Yeah, very, very cool game. Looking forward to that. That'll be out, I think, in early November. But yeah, Atari is working on that. They're also releasing a remaster. Well, what is this? The studio that they work with, they're releasing a remaster of the original Thief. So I got a chance to check that out as well. So yeah, overall, Saturday, great day. Now let's move on to Sunday, because this is the day. This is the day, and let me clarify something about Sunday. The first thing I did Sunday was I went to the Xbox showcase. Okay, I want to clarify something because I see people have been talking about it. I did go to the showcase. I left the showcase early because I had an appointment, so I had to leave early. But I saw people was talking about, they're giving out Xboxes. They're giving out this Xbox 25th Anniversary Edition. Let me clarify this. They gave a voucher to the fans, the people who came for FanFest. They are the ones that got vouchers to get that console when it releases. The media did not get anything relating to that. We didn't get any of that stuff. They did have their little FanFest area of the actual place that everything was at. It was at the Motion Picture Studios building. There was an area where you could play certain games. And I believe Gears was there, Fable was there, and a couple other Xbox games. I, unfortunately, could not stay for that because I had an appointment, and that's a situation where you were going to have to wait in line because they had fans in there also that were able to play these games. So you couldn't just walk in there, unless, of course, you talk with the PR and try to get in there. I will give a shout out to our friends at Gamertag. I know they definitely played those games. So I would encourage you all to check out their content because I'm pretty sure they will be talking about it if they haven't already dropped their coverage of it. But the Xbox event overall was great. But the reason I left is because I had a whole bunch of appointments, and I'm going to rattle this off real quickly. Stranger Than Heaven. They had a combat demo for the game, where basically they had me go to 3 different eras, and I just had different, and I got a chance to check out the combat. And I will say this, this game here, the combat is, this may take a little bit getting used to for some people, all right? Because they really emphasize you using the right and left bumpers for certain attacks. So, and you have to go back and forth to do that stuff with those type of buttons. So it's a different type of way to play the game. But overall, I mean, the game is a lot of fun. And all they did was they had me start in one era, face enemies. Then in the second era, I was using weapons. So I got a chance to see how the weapons work. And then in that final era, it was pretty much a boss fight where you're facing one of the bosses and you're using a knife, so on and so forth. So the game looks good. I like they had a nice little setup for how they set up the whole play area, and I will have photos of this stuff. So stay tuned. There's a lot of stuff that I will be putting out about this. But overall, that was a great demo. I definitely need to see more because again, all they had for us was the combat demo. They didn't go into any other details with anything else about the story stuff. So stay tuned for that. I got a chance to check out a presentation for the Silent Hill Townfall game.
Oh, cool.
That again, first person type of game. if you're a Silent Hill fan, you might enjoy it. I thought it was pretty cool. And during the presentation, the room we were sitting in, they actually had fog coming into the room. So I guess you can get a feeling of the vibe of a Silent Hill type of game. So yeah, they did a very good job setting that up. So props to them on that. After that, I got a chance to check out the Saw game, Saw Genesis. That's the game they announced at Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
That pretty much is one of those 3 versus 1 asymmetrical type of games. It's still very, very early in terms of what I saw, because obviously that was the first time they showed the game. I obviously am a Saw fan, but yeah, I definitely need to see some more. But I do like the fact that they have been in communication they're working with all the people that worked on the Saw movies, specifically, and of course, Jigsaw. They do have him involved with this project as well. So looking forward to learning more about that. Last couple of games I checked out, I got a chance to check out Alien Fireteam Elite 2. Yeah, one of those type of games where you're basically running and gunning, shooting, taking out aliens and other type of Marines. Pretty cool multiplayer game. I got a chance to check out Turok Origins.
Oh shit!
Which is another game coming out later this year, and I actually got a chance to play that with our very good friend, Mr. David Jagno. Yeah, because I read it to him while he was there too.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yep. It was just his birthday, by the way.
So, nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. But that Turok Origins game, yeah, that was a lot of fun. That'll be coming also later this year. Obviously, hopefully before November, fingers crossed. And the last thing I did get a chance to check out was this game called Crimson Moon. That's like another one of those type of games. It's like an action RPG type of game. It has some Souls-like stuff in it. Made by this studio called Probably Monsters. They're also working on this other game where you're basically taking out Nazis. But I got a chance to check out Crimson Moon. Yeah, another game I'm looking forward to playing, so definitely will check that out. And finally, my last day of Summer Game Fest, I would make an argument this is probably the best day that I had. Now,
oh, shit.
Started out with a game that I believe Chris says that he has played, called Ace Combat. Okay, Ace Combat 8, or as I like to call it, based on what I see with the story, Top Gun the game, with the same level of emotion, with the characters and all this other stuff. Now, I will say this. I don't know what the hell is happening in that game, so I don't know what the story is. But I will say what I played, yeah, it was I had a good time. It wasn't nothing wrong with the game itself. Obviously, we'll need to learn more details about it. But the demo, the way they set that up, that was great. I didn't have any complaints about that. I saw 2 other games I cannot talk about yet. And I got to throw a teaser in there. I will talk about this stuff in the future. One of the games I saw, though, that had to be the best horror game that I saw this entire show. And I will get into more details about that in the future. I just can't talk about it now. Speaking of Nintendo, and this may surprise you, I actually got a chance to check out some Nintendo stuff because Nintendo was there at the event. I did not know they were going to be there prior. But I found out that somebody that we know at our PR company actually works at Nintendo now. They've been there for 6 years. So I'm not saying that we're going to start to cover Nintendo stuff, but maybe we will see what happens. But yeah, I got a chance to check out a few games. The Orbitals game was incredibly packed, so I didn't bother with that one. I did get a chance to check out Jonathan Blow's upcoming game. I think it's the Sea of the Rising Star or the Sinking Sea, something like that. I got to get the title.
Oh, man, that's a name we haven't heard in a minute.
Yeah, that game is a lot of fun, and I was surprised. Obviously, they call it a puzzle adventure game where pretty much they have multiple worlds that you can explore on a puzzle. And when you go to certain worlds, you become certain characters from that world. It explains their story. But as you're navigating through the puzzle, there are certain characters that you have to move certain objects, and certain people can't really move an object, or they do it a certain type of way. For example, there was one character that is able to push something forward, and then there's another character that's able to pull something back. So I like the concept of the game. Obviously, didn't get to spend too much time with it, but I do want to play this game more because I want to see exactly why it took this guy 10 years to make this game. So, yeah, we'll check that out some more for sure as time goes on. Aside from that, the last couple of games that I played on Sunday, and all I have to say is this. The Tomb Raider game that Amazon is working on with Crystal Dynamics, that game is fire.
Oh, hell
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. That game is fire. They released gameplay footage today for that everywhere, so I would encourage you all to check out that footage. I'm going to be still doing a preview for it, but I enjoyed the hell out of that little presentation. It had everything that you would want in a Tomb Raider game. And then, of course, it ends with an encounter from a dinosaur. So, again, this is the whole Dino Crisis thing that people, have been asking for. Listen, that Tomb Raider game, though, that looks phenomenal. It's coming out in February, so I'm glad that they will avoid all GTA, all that other stuff with GTA. They avoid all of that. That's great.
Yeah. The problem is, Rich, they're not avoiding all the other February games. There's a lot of them.
Oh, yes.
February
right.
it's the new September.
I got to double check that. I got to double check that schedule because I know, there is a lot of stuff coming out in February.
Yeah.
After Tomb Raider, I got a chance to play Phantom Blade Zero. And I really can't talk about what I played in that outside of the fact I can say I got a chance to play an actual story mission in the game. Again, another phenomenal game. Looking forward to spending a lot more time with it. And of course, that was a good demo as far as getting me familiar with the world, some of the boss characters and stuff like that. So looking forward to seeing more from that. What else we have here? Yes, I also got a chance to play this game called Sonic Pico Park.
Riku's game of the year.
Oh, really? It is.
Well, I don't know. It's a Sonic game. I'm just making that up.
Well, this is essentially a 4-player party game. I actually got a chance to play with our boy Godfrey.
Oh, all right.
And Jared the Completionist. We were on the same team.
Oh, shit, that's cool.
Wow, Jared the Completionist. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Oh, yeah.
After certain things happened to him.
Well, hey, it is what it is. But no, we got a chance to play that game, and that game is. I was surprised by that because you really do need to play that with other people because you're trying to get through these little puzzle scenarios. And you have to utilize certain characters like, Tails uses his tail to fly. You have to take all that into consideration. You can carry certain characters. It's a lot to explain, but it's a pretty fun little concept. It's probably a good game to play if you have a couple of friends over and they want to check it out. But that was a fun time. I'm trying to think if I forgot something else. I will give a shout out to Brett. I did get a chance to play some Grounded 2. So I guess nice. I now understand why people enjoy this game. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun demo. Outside of that, there was one game that I did get a chance to play. The Day of the Devs had a couple of different games that were interesting. There was this one game that I played that I know that Tony would be interested until I tell him it has some roguelike elements in it. And what it is like it's a fighting game, right? It's a fighting game that mixes roguelike stuff in it. So it's like you play as these characters, you're fighting robots, but obviously, and it's this whole thing where you're going from match to match. And pretty much what happens is as you go from one match to the next, anytime you take damage, you're going into the next matchup with that same damage. So pretty much when you die, that's it. You got to start all over again. So that right there, Tony will say, "Oh hell no, I don't want to play this garbage."
I'm good. Do they have do they have procedurally generated levels too?
Some stuff is that way. Yeah, some of that stuff is that way.
That's kind of like the way Bushido Blade was, where in other words, you went into the next battle with whatever injuries that you've occurred from the previous fight. and it was random as to which person that you fought. So it's not. It's not really rogue-like-ish because it's. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's an older gameplay thing that's been done.
That's a good point.
That is a good point. Like, because I'm assuming this game doesn't have RNG in it, right? Like, like different stats and shit that change, different loadouts.
Oh no! I mean, the thing is, this is like an independent project. It's the one thing I like about it is that they did all this on their own. They're bootstrapped everything. They don't have any type of money or anything.
Yeah.
But the character designs look really great. Like some of those character designs remind me a little bit of the current Street Fighter game in terms of how they design the fighters. But they only have one fighter in that demo. They have other fighters that they're working on now to add in there. But the concept is interesting. Like Manny said, it's probably not original. They're describing it as roguelike.
Oh, they're describing it like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird because it's not really roguelike, because if you play Street Fighter, well, I mean, granted, if you play Street Fighter, you get the next guy, you get your energy back. But in the game Bushido Blade, it was different, where if you were injured or you had some other thing, it would take that into the next battle. So, and it was just like sort of surviving through all the different guys.
And obviously, it's Bushido Blade, one wrong slice and you're dead.
Yeah, it was like a one hit, like if it's like a one hit kill, or if you injured yourself somewhere, you still had that injury.
Yeah, definitely have to look into this game for sure.
Yeah, I'll get the title. I'll get the title for that. The one last game that I did check out also, again, another presentation. This is a game I believe maybe Brian was interested in this game. It's this game called The Lost Wilds, made by Annapurna Interactive. Once again, this whole Dino Crisis, dinosaur type of thing. The presentation, it was a gameplay presentation where they played the game and they were talking us through what was happening in the game. The game looks pretty good. I definitely want to see more. This is another game coming out 2027, and I think this is coming out in February also. So this is probably one of those other games where it's coming out in a crowded month. But what I saw so far is just simply you're trying to escape, but also learn more about these dinosaurs. And they had a session where the person playing, they were trying to show us something, but they kept getting taken out by the dinosaurs. So it took them a couple of tries, because this was the last demo of the show. But they eventually were able to get past that particular challenge. But the game looks pretty interesting. They're calling it a survival horror type of game, so definitely got to see some more. But overall, I would say Summer Game Fest was good. The only critique that I would have is some of these games, it was mainly just a presentation. You was not able to play certain stuff.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will mention is that the way when they started to get appointments for this game, send out emails for appointments. You know how Carlos always does the Adam, we got the emails. Well, I did not get an email for Control Resonant. And I found out later that is because as soon as they sent out emails for about Control Resonant, and I heard this directly from our very good friend, Tara, within 2 minutes, all the appointments were filled up. And that was it for every single day. So what I'm basically saying is, I know, Tony, you said you are concerned about Control Resonant. Yeah. I would say, well, damn, based on how popular this game is, I expect this game to do well. And I will be monitoring and following this story to see if it does well, because damn near everybody was trying to see that game at Summer Game Fest. And a lot of people got turned away from seeing it. So I can imagine that means that the anticipation is high, and hopefully that translates into the game actually selling well when it drops. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, though, yeah, everything was great. And the last thing I will mention, Virtual Fighter, I did find out that was there.
Yeah. Oh,
but okay. the way Sega handled it is that there were certain days that some stuff was there and then it was just gone. And apparently with Virtual Fighter, they were there talking, just showing, like, I guess it's another presentation. They were there for a presentation, but that was only for like 2 days. And this is a 3-day show. So when I tried to go in there the last day to try to see something, they said, oh, no, we don't have any appointments. It was a very limited type of window type of thing. And there was something else that I saw that was a limited opportunity, but I can't talk about it yet. And that's not really, it's not a game I don't think everybody will be curious about. Obviously, some people will be curious about it, but yeah. But overall, I thought the event was great. Again, my whole thing is, though, presentations is, I'm okay with seeing a presentation, but I would like to actually play the game, because that is an indicator as to whether or not the game is great. I did play a lot of great stuff, and I think that's looking very, very promising in terms of all the games coming out. So I look forward to what's coming next. But overall, the event was great. And also being able to catch up with people, have the whole community aspect about it. That really is the best thing about this event. So hopefully in the future, I will see Mr. Tony Polanco or some of you guys at some of these events, because the community fellowship and talking about the games, that is the best thing about going to these events, always. And seeing the PR people that you exchange emails with in person, meeting some for the first time, that's always a good feeling. So now you can put a face with a name, and it's just always a great thing. But yeah, overall, a great experience once again.
Dope. And a very important question. This one's from Reggie. He asked this right at the top. It's like, he came back with the question. What was your game of the show?
Oh, wow. Reggie, that is a very, very tough question to ask me at this particular moment. But, man, okay. I have 2 answers to this question. One answer I obviously can't say because it's a game that I can't talk about yet. But what I will say in terms of what I've spoken about so far, hands down, is Tomb Raider. It got to be nice. Tomb Raider, because when I going into that, I didn't really think much of. I feel like, okay, this is going to be the same type of Tomb Raider experience, but something about that game, that particular part of the demo, it just, like I said, if you are a Tomb Raider fan, you're going to love this game. Yeah, that's awesome. And again, Blood Message is also great. I have a feeling that if I played Control, that may have been up there as well, because I saw everybody talking highly about that as well. But for me personally, right now, I think Tomb Raider it's definitely on that list. It's at the very top if it's not number 1.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, during one of the presentations, I did say that's one of my most anticipated games. It's a remake of the original. Big fan of that one. I played that like crazy on the Sega Saturn. And I also really like the original remake of that from like 20 years ago. If you remember that, they remade it for the PS2. And this is another remake of that. But yeah, I saw the footage you're talking about. She's shooting velociraptors, dope stuff. Can't go wrong with that. But yeah, man, thanks for telling us that. You made us feel like we were there with you. Oh, actually, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Question:
Did you go to the JW?
Oh, well, Tony, that's a phenomenal question. And I will say I did go to the JW, and it did not feel the same at all because of all the construction that they are doing in that area. The stuff that I believe Paris showed in terms of all the stuff that they're working on, there wasn't really anybody anywhere to sit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that normally would go to that hotel, I didn't see hardly anybody, any PR, any other people I know that was staying at that hotel. Obviously, they were telling everybody to stay at other hotels that were closer to where the event was at, like the Freehand, etc. So, but I did stop over there just to get the vibes, and obviously, yeah, there was a lot happening in the area. They had all type of events and stuff like that. So it was cool, but nothing happening at the JW Marriott. It felt very pitiful, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. So I think people just went there out of respect,
Yeah. I saw some photos of like an outside area. Like, what was that? What is there? like because I saw like a photo of like
Yeah.
the robot head from Fumito Ueda's game, like out like as like a photo op somewhere. Like what was
Oh, yeah.
this space?
Oh yeah,
that they
I
had
found
this-
out that's a great question. I found out that they actually were the Gen AI game. They were talking a little bit about that game there because Epic had another section there where you, of course, you had to try to get an appointment to basically go in there, and then they were talking more about the footage that they showed at Summer Game Fest. But they had that there as a display, I guess. But yeah, they actually did have something where you could get more details about the game. And we definitely will get more details about the game because our very good friend Tony and my very good friend Tara is also handling that game. I'm telling you that her PR studio is incredible. I told her this when I spoke to her. She built an excellent team. They got so many games they're covering. They're handling Control, all these other games. So
I also like
awesome.
that one of her employees is Daniel Pena. Danny Pena's brother. Every time I get an email from him, I'm like, hold on, what? You know, because it's Daniel Pena, and then, you know, Godfrey is Danny Pena. And then their father is Danny Pena. That's crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember, because I met all of them at Danny's wedding. And, you know, fucking Danny's dad, typical Dominican. He's like, yeah, they're all like, they're named after me. I'm the real Danny Pena. I know how to dance better than both of them. Like, here we go. Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, that's good, man. Sounds like it seems like, yeah, you went in there like expecting a decent show and you got something even better, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always like the one thing I will say about the show, it's very chill, laid back. This is what's different about E3. Obviously, they have the food trucks.
Yeah,
you do get vouchers, so you can basically use that stuff while you're there to get free food, all types of stuff like that. But the thing about it is that it really depends on the emails that you get as far as appointments, and then a lot of things happen where there's no shows, and then that's how you're able to fit into certain appointments. So that is similar to E3, but yeah, it definitely goes by really quick with the time crunch because the Xbox Showcase, they still have the show going on when the Xbox Showcase happens. So if you decide to go to that Xbox Showcase, you're going to miss at least 2 hours of appointments that you could have gotten. And then the other thing is Xbox at their event, they also have opportunities to play games. But again, you're going to be waiting in some lines because there was a lot of fans at that event, and I'm sure that if I tried to wait to play Gears, I would have had to be there all day, and I was not about to do that for Gears. I said, no, October will be here soon enough. I'll just wait until October.
There you go. All right, man, good stuff. Shout out to the chat. They enjoyed the story, so thanks for that again, Rich.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's start wrapping it up. Yeah, Rich, what is actually coming up on the coalition that you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah, so a lot of the games that I mentioned, I'm working on a lot of different previews right now. It's so there's going to be a lot of gaming stuff coming. I need a little bit of time to gather some of these things that I'm writing up there, and then of course some of the things that I couldn't talk about. One of those things I will be able to talk about next week around the 16th. So look for that. But yeah, stay tuned for that, for all the gaming stuff coming to thecoalition.com as well as the Coalition Gaming. And a shout out to Mr. Adam Vale, the TV Terminal. He's been covering a lot of shows. I've also been covering a show with him called From. Look for that also this weekend. And lastly, and I am happy to announce this, the Power Show is returning. Not only is the Power Show returning, our very good friend Gary is also returning.
Nice.
So we will be recording that episode sometime this weekend. So if you are a Power fan, and I have to always say, I'm talking about the TV show on Stars, not the video game. Powers, the TV, the Sony. I'm not talking about that garbage. All right, we're talking about a TV show. So yeah, but stay tuned. We got a lot of content we're working on. But if you're here for the gaming stuff, I got you covered. Just give me a little bit of time to put some stuff together.
Yeah, book 3. I know this because that big ass poster is always staring at me in the subway every morning. Yeah, I get to see 50 Cent's face every morning when I'm on my way to work.
See, yeah.
There you go. It's like the book
That's
of something. Season 3,
Raising Canaan.
Raising Canaan.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, the tagline is like, evil isn't born, it's raised. Again, I look, I look at this fucking poster every day on the R train, bro. It's hilarious. Yeah, thanks, Dio. He goes, good great discussion as always. Thank you for that. He says, Rich, you're the man, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you, sir.
Stuff. And shout out to Otaku Man. He says Tara Bruno is the truth. She is. She's awesome.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
I will be seeing Tara tomorrow, but for something I cannot discuss at the moment. But it should be pretty cool. Actually, I might even be able to discuss it, but I'm not going to say anything. But I'll just say it's for a game that Rich mentioned tonight. It probably isn't, because I can at least say it's part of the Tribeca Film Festival, which is happening now. So I'm pretty sure you guys could put 2 and 2 together. What I'm going to be doing. I may not even be under embargo. I don't remember seeing that shit, but who knows? All right, man, let's wrap it up. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube, join the Discord. Yo, big shout out to the Discord gang this week. You guys were on fire, cracking me up, with a lot of the memes. So shout out to you guys. And of course, you can find us on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight, I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Deuces.
Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
And Brian Majoma.
Later, people.
All right, guys, we shall return on Sunday. Later.